as a bridge. You know why? Because bridges unite communities. And what you're doing here is you're uniting a community. Not just Lawrence, you're uniting the 5 towns. And for me, it's a tremendous honor that just about a year ago, we opened up this place here in Lawrence. And I actually have some bragging rights now that we got it accomplished. But with all seriousness, this is a great honor to be here, and it's a great honor to be here with you as well. We're doing this first event, and I hope there'll be many more events here in the coming future. With that said, look, enjoy the learning tonight, and the speeches, and the food, and the hospitality of David and Ohel. And as we always say, may God bless the United States of America. May Hashem bless the great village of Lawrence, the 5 towns, the great state of Israel, and Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good Erev Shabbos Kodesh. This break for guitar tuning is brought to you by Ohel Family Services. Beautiful. Let's go, everybody up, everybody up. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, hey. Harmony. Chaver, let's stay focused. I'm sure everybody's excited to see each other, but let's try to sing together too. I'm gonna have everybody to give me some nice harmony over here together. Let me hear you. Help me out, everybody. Guys, Chevra, we're here, yeah? Everyone together, let's go. Rishus the Rabbanim, Chevra, the minhag is before the Rabbanim in the room, the Tzaddikim in the room, they speak in order to prepare our neshamas to receive their words properly. We're supposed to sing a niggin together to open up the hearts. We'll be able to hear what the Heilige Rabbanim over here are going to say to us tonight to prepare us for Shabbos. So everybody, let's sing this niggin together. We all know it. We sing it every night, every Friday night in Shul. Everybody here together. There we go. Let's go, everybody together. One more time. Just you guys.
Shalom uvracha, everyone, and welcome to the first of Amir Hashem, many Leil Shishis here at Ohel's Family Community Center. Before introducing my personal Rabbanim, and obviously everyone's personal Rabbanim here, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of a couple of individuals. At first, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of CEO David Mendel of Ohel. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Jay Kestenbaum, OL co-president. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Harry Schlachter, OL board member and treasurer. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Pesach Osina, candidate for Assembly of District 23 of Rockaway. And I would like to give a big thank you to my colleague and director of the Ohel's Family Enrichment Center, Malki Grossman, who this beautiful event tonight would not have happened without her help, so thank you very much, Malki. My name is Eli Portel, and I'm the Outreach and Partnership Coordinator at Ohel, here with a specific focus on the 5 towns. And in preparation for this event, and I heard a lot of people reaching out, people said, what's this about? Is this a fundraiser? Is this for OL clients? And so I want to be able to take this moment to clarify what it is that we're doing here. OL does many things. We have many services. We are here for people from 0 to 120 in any area that you can think of. But if we had to put all of what OL does together, what we're really aiming to provide is that sense that you know that we are here for you. And that's what this community center is about. This is right in the heart of the 5 towns. And this community center is meant to be a place where any of the needs of the community can be addressed, whether it's a Leil Shishi, whether it's Shabbos groups on Shabbos, whether it's just getting together, playing mahjong, yoga classes, working on our Emunah Bitachon, tutoring. The limits the possibilities are endless, but that's what this place is, and this is the first start of many, many events that Amir Hashem will cater to our community. And when we speak about our community, it's a big, big schus to be able to introduce Rabbi Feiner. When I was thinking of people, right, when you think about people who are here for the community, Rabbi Feiner, Rabbi Neuburger, the White Shul is a pillar in the 5 towns community, and someone who all the Rabbanim, everybody looks up to for just how much they're there, their presence is for us, and how much they live their lives b'mesiras nefesh to be able to take care of everyone around. I asked my son just before, I said I have a really, really special schus to be able to introduce 2 of my Rebbeim. What should I say? And my son knows Rabbi Feiner, my son knows Rabbi Neuburger, and so Amir Hashem, I'll have the schus to introduce Rabbi Neuburger soon. But I asked about Rabbi Feiner, and my son answered. He said, Rabbi Feiner is a gon and a gadol b'Torah, and just as much is a gadol and a gon in midos tovos and in bein adam lachavero. And it couldn't be more true, that feeling that I've experienced, that I'm sure so many people in this room have experienced, that special care and just feeling like you're the only person in the world when you're speaking with Rabbi Feiner. It's such a kavod for us. And the same way so many people in the community showed up here tonight, Amir Hashem, I want to show kavod and support for the Rabbanim. Amir Hashem, the White Shul is making a dinner this coming Tuesday night at the White Shul. Their 104th dinner, which is hard to imagine, 104 years here in the 5 towns community. It is an extreme kavod and pleasure and honor to be able to ask Rabbi Feiner to share some words of chizuk as we enter into the summer months.
Tremendous yeshakayach meyom kadaliba to Yedidi Haneman Rabbi and the entire team here at OL, really doing unbelievable Avodah Kodesh b'chol yom hayom on behalf of this wonderful, growing, and very special, dear to my heart and to so many others, this incredible community. They bring machazek, ma'odeh, they're doing tremendous services they're providing on a daily basis, and we owe them an overwhelming sense of akar satov, especially I have the schus of knowing the CEO, Reb David Mandel, as has been mentioned, and of course, Jay Kestenbaum and many of the other presidents, board members. This is an unbelievable all-star team that's selflessly dedicated, beguf ubenefesh, to doing whatever they can, b'chol yom v'yom, to enhance and to take our community to yet greater levels. So a tremendous, tremendous yashakayach, mekol halev, and mechayil achayil met Hashem, to Yedidi, Shalom Ogenbaum, the whole team here at Ohel, Leil Shlita, what a gewaldige schus, that we have such tzaddikim miyuchadim here in this community, and we wish them continuous siyata d'shmaya meruba, with all their tremendous avodah hakodesh, mechayil achayil la'ela ula'ela. So once we're sitting in the Ohel offices, obviously what comes to mind, we have to mention the Gemara in Sukkah, the Ohel Arai, that we dwell in. It comes the Zman of Simchas Seinu, we go into a Sukkah. Let's take a look at a well-known Gemara in Sukkah, Daf Mem Hey Amud Beis. And the Gemara there relates that Amar Reb Chizkiya, Amar Reb Yirmiyah Mishum Reb Shimon Echai, one of the 2,245 Ma'amorim attributed to the Heilige Tana, the Rashbi, bandied about Torah Shabbat Peh. And Reb Shimon Echai tells us, Re'isi b'nei Aliyah mu'atanei. I looked around and I don't see too many b'nei Aliyah. Parenthetically, this is a Pliyat Suma. Rashi in Parshas Noach Paraktes quotes a Medrash Rabbah that you don't need the Os of the Keshes in certain generations, including the Dor of Reb Shimon Echai, because it was Molei Gedolim, Molei Tzadikim. And yet the same Reb Shimon Echai in his generation says, I'm looking around, Re'isi b'nei Aliyah mu'atanei, and they're far and few. And Feiner, if they're about 1,000, then I'm going to ensure that my son and I are going to be counted amongst those 1,000. And Meyahin, he continues, if they're about 100, then Nachmol, yet again, I'm going to rest assured that Aniyu Bonai Mehen. Vim Shnaim Hein, and if there are but 2 B'nai Aliyah in this world, Aniyu Bonai Hein. My son and I, we are those 2 B'nai Aliyah. You walk away from such a perplexing Maimer Chazal. This strikes us as a Pliyat Suma. It seems to resonate, Chalila V'chas, echoes of complacency. Complacent air of superiority on the part of the Heilige Tana, the Butzina Kadisha Rishim Echai. If there are but 2 B'nai Aliyah in the world, Aniyu Bonai Hein, my son and I, we are the 2. Half of a fella. I heard years ago B'Shem Rabbi Aaron Kotler from a Talmud, and then I subsequently saw Me'ain the same shtickle in his mission Rabbi Aaron Parshas Re'eh, and it's also cited in the Sefer Divrei Yisrael and in Inyani Nisuin and Maimer Beis. And that is that if we take a step back and we try to analyze what is the message he wants to convey. Shimon Echai is saying, I see a lot of Gedolim, I see a lot of Tzadikim, but I don't see too many B'nai Aliyah. Not everybody is interested in growing and persistently and incessantly steiging in their ruchnius, in their avodas Hashem. If there are only 1,000 Yidden in the world interested in growing and steiging, I'm going to make sure to be counted amongst them. And the same if there are about 100. And you know what? If no one in the world wants to grow, nobody in the world wants to steig. The Alter Navardik even understands that those who adore Shalaganai, Legabe Noach, when we rewind back to Parshas Noach, Yeshme Roseinu Shadorshan the Shvach, Yesh Shadorshan the Ganai. And you tell me that Noach, you put him in a door of Avraham, is going to be Nechshav L'Klum L'Ma'uma. What do you mean? The Torah's made. It testifies very clearly. He said, Ish Tzadik Tomid. Torah says, but he's Noach Losha Menucha. He says, yeah, I'm a Tzadik. I'm happy to stay this way. The mere maintenance of the status quo. That's not a Ben Aliyah. Ben Aliyah says, I'm never resting. I want to be a holich. I want to be on the move, on the go. I want to be steiging. I want to be a Ben Aliyah. And Dr. Shimon Chai, that if no one in the world, however great of a tzaddik, whatever you accomplished this past year, if no one's interested, b'chol yom v'yom, to continuously, persistently steig as an emistik Evan Hashem, as a ben Torah, nay, as a ben Aliyah, mechoyel achoyel la'ela la'ela. Well, it doesn't matter, lo ichpatli, I don't care what everyone else is doing. Ani yiboneh mehen. Forget about Dargis. I'm not saying I'm the biggest tzaddik, I'm the biggest gadol. I'm saying that I'm always going to be working on myself. I'm always going to be growing. I'm always going to be steiging. I'm never going to be content, never satisfied with the mere maintenance of the status quo, and my Yiddishkeit, and my Avodah Hashem, we always got to be moving, always got to be growing. Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, the Ran writes in Rosh our Ner, the neshama is always flickering, never ever remains idle or motionless. And thus the Grot tells us in his Perush HaMishlei. If you're not growing in your Yiddishkeit, then Makorchach, you're going down. It's a slope. If you're not continuously steiging, growing at every tkufa, and your Avodas Hashem Yizbarach, then against your will, you're going down. Because you have the ubiquitous presence of the evil inclination, the Yetzer Hara. And he's always going to drag on you. He's always breathing heavily down your neck, and he's going to drag you down. So, b'chol tkufa, and yes, come the summer months, we have to realize we have to never stop steiging. But people, this is a time to chill. It's a time to relax. You're right. There is a time to relax. Rashach writes in his Mechtavim Mamawarim, there's no musig of a Bein Hazmanim. Bein Hazmanim, whether you're learning full-time, whether you're working, most of the people here are Balabatim. But how do you understand even, what do you mean a Bein Hazmanim? The Shlo writes in Masechah Shavuos, he was Korei Togar. He denounced this very concept. What do you mean a Bein Hazmanim? You mean there's a Zman to learn and there's a Zman that I'm off from learning? I'm never off from learning. I'm never off from growth in my Yiddishkeit, from my Avodah Hashem. As Rashach explains, it's not a Bein Hazmanim, it's a Zman to relax, to take it easy, but to work on different aspects of your Avodah Hashem. We're never taking a break from Yiddishkeit. Come the summer months, I remember I have the schus of working in Camp Simcha, Lifelines Camp Simcha, and there was a bacher at the end of one session at camp. He says, Rabbi Feiner, I want you to know you never saw me in the base medrash, but I'm telling you the truth, I'm a big masmid in yeshiva. I said, okay. I said, so he says, so if you're wondering, I said, I wasn't really wondering. I didn't see you to even begin to wonder, but I didn't know who he was. He was there the whole summer. I didn't recognize him. He says, the reason I wasn't there is because I worked so hard on my asmada the whole year. I really need to chill. I need to take it easy. I said, but there's no concept of a masmid is the pshat. Then in the summer, I don't crack open a sefer. I take it easy. It's a pshat that I find ways to relax, to be together. You read it, to reinvigorate, to re-energize the kokos. But I'm never not opening up the sefer. You can never take a break from Avodah Hashem. As Rabbi Yisrael Salanta says, we coined the term masmid based on what its etymology is rooted in korban tamid. You bring a tamid every day, korban tamid sheshachar tamid shavei ramayim, and thus Yoshua perkal pasaches v'gisu yom olayla. There's got to be learning in the day. There's got to be learning at night. B'di'evan adarm dav ches menachas sanitesi k'mi makayim k'mi yishma d'shakris k'mi yishma hours. But you got to have set times every day. Masmid is I don't miss a day, and not only am I learning, I don't miss a day in my avodas Hashem. We never take a break. We always have to be growing, always have to be steiging. Even in Camp Simcha. Yes, there's a time to relax. If I even may say, just because I don't get too many opportunities to share this, but Yedidi Abeli Portal sitting by my side, the Tzaddik, he was camp many years ago. He came over to me in Camp Simcha and he said, Rabbi Feiner, he says, can we play a game of pool? Very long time ago, when he was a kid, about 1 year old. Can we play a game of, can I say the story? Can we play a game of pool? I said, Rabbi, I don't know, I'm the rabbi of the camp. In the middle of it, I'm going to go to the game room. I don't really go to the game room in the middle. I'm going to play a game of pool, billiards. I said, okay, you know what, the last day of camp, when everybody leaves camp, then we'll have a game of pool. No one's there anymore, and then I'll take off my jacket. And then I'll relax, I'll play a game of pool. There's a time and a place for everything. So I figured Rebelli's going to forget about it. Last day of camp, come on, it's 2 weeks later. After a camp, said, no one's going to remember. Comes over to me the last day of camp, a few buses had already departed. I said, Rabbi Feiner, you told me that you play a game of pool the last day of camp. I said, okay, my word is my word. So there I go into the game room. I felt the Kedusha. In the game room. It didn't compare to the Kedusha in the base medrash, but there's still a Kedusha. A Camp Simcha, the game room, there's a Kedusha. And Eli says, you know what, Rabbi Feiner, I was thinking, I don't want you to play me a game of pool. I want you to play my counselor. I said, who's your counselor? Ari. I said, well, what? He says, well, Ari won the pool tournament in Camp Simcha this summer. So I'll have more fun watching you play Ari than you play me. I said, but I won't have more fun. No, you're going to play my counselor, Ari. I said, okay. Ari was a fantastic pool player. I hadn't touched a pool stick in years. take off the jacket, I dust off the pool stick. I put in a good tefillah to the Ribbon Shalom. And Ari is wiping the floor with me. Solids and stripes, Camp Simcha game room. And he's already up to the 8 ball. Maybe I got one crack at a single shot at the table. And he does a trick shot by jumping his ball over the 8 ball. With the 1 ball left on the table, he nips the 8 ball, and the 8 ball goes right into the side pocket, and Rabbi Feiner wins the game. Eibishter answers tefillas. Made my life easy. It was geschmack. I start walking out. Eli says, Rabbi, you didn't win. He lost. That doesn't count. Okay, next game. By this time, somebody contacted. It wasn't Obeli. He wouldn't do this to me. Someone contacted the head counselor, made an announcement over the loudspeaker. Next thing you know, comes game number 2, and the entire camp squeezed. Like I said, there's a lot of kedusha in the Camp Simcha game room. It was mamish, a miniature Ohel, Sukkah, Beis Hamikdash, everybody in camp found a way to squeeze into that game room to watch the rabbi of the camp play a game of pool. And it's game number 2, and Ari wipes the floor with me. He creams me. Okay, I could take it new. It's 1-1. I don't mind just walking out. I start walking out again. Eli says, Rabbi, so we need the tiebreaker. It's 1 versus 1. Everyone said, Rabbi, fine, come on, you got to play. I say, okay, Kodesh Baruch Hu, it's a tiebreaker. Eibishter l'shem kavod ha'Torah. Not l'mani, l'mancha. Hashem. So what are they going to say to the rabbi of the camp? I don't need it. I don't need the covet. I'm not playing pool for money. I don't need it. Just I said, put in a tefillah. We start playing the game. I have no idea what the Eibishter put into my hands, but it was the best game of pool I ever played in my life. I didn't cream him, but I was able to keep up with him. And we're going back and forth, solids and stripes, until we get to the 8 ball, last ball left on the table. And I'm the first one with a crack at the 8 ball. I put a nocha tefillah. I have no idea how I got the shot in, but the ball went into the right cold pocket. Game over. The rabbi beats the guy who won the pool championship 2-1. Rabbi said, it was kedai to come tonight just for that story. I don't think I played a game of pool since. I don't think I walked in the Camp Simcha game room since. And I told this Maisa to Shmuel Brazil, and he said, Rabbi Feiner, I got a better story for you. He says, there was a boy who left Shar Yoshev years ago. He was in my shiur. He says, one day he didn't show up. I said, where's Jake? I said, no, Jake, he had enough of yeshiva. And he left, and he went to the gym. Shmuel Brazil followed him to the gym. Sees his Talmud, Jake, he says, Jake, Rabbi, I'm not interested. I tried it out. It's just not for me. Yiddishkeit's not for me. And there's Jake shooting around. He says, I'll tell you what, Rabbi. He says, here's a basketball. You take it to the half-court line. You get this one shot. To get a half-court shot in, if God's on your side, God's on your team, you get the ball in, I'm coming back to yeshiva, and I'll stay there for good. But if you miss, you don't bother me ever again. He says to me, Rabbi Feiner, why couldn't he ask me for a game of pool? Rosh Brazil's an awesome pool player. He says, basketball, I don't know how to shoot a basketball for the life of me. He says, but Eibishter, I say, Leman Chavol, all the money. Eibishter, for your cover, we got to get Jake back into the base matters. And Rashul Brazil tells me he takes the basketball to the half-court line. He's never shot a three-pointer, kavachaimer, a half-court shot in his life. He doesn't know how to shoot the basketball regularly. He only knows how to throw it underhand like a 10-year-old kid. He stands with his feet apart, takes the ball underhand. He says, Eibishter, please let it go in. Throws it with all his might, a perfect bank shot in. Jake comes back to yeshiva. God's on the rabbi's side, and today's an Erlich Ben Torah. This is man to play basketball. And there's this man to play pool. And there's this man to chill, and there's this man to relax. But we never, ever stop growing in Yiddishkeit. We never take a break from Yerushalayim. So if I say this is a tziruf of Shemus of a Kodesh Baruch Hu that correspond accordingly to the various Yud Beis Chodshei Hashanah, to the 12 months of the year. B'nai Yisoscha, the din of a Rebbe, and Other Mekabolim Befrat, Amarich, and this Yesod, and the B'nai Yisoscha writes, in the beginning of his Mamorim in Chodesh Tammuz. Here we are quickly approaching July, Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. And he says the tziruf of the Osios, Yud Kei Vav Kei, in reverse, highlighting Midas Adin. Hey, Vav, Hey, and then another Yud. Corresponds to the Sofei Tevis, the Pasuk in Megillah Esther in Perek Hey. V'chol zeh einenu shavali. Zeh einenu shavali. Hey, vav, hey, and then another Yud. What's the Yesod? The name that Ki'ilu metaphysically governs this month, the beginning of the summer. Highlighting Midas Adin, this is not a Pashut a month that belongs to Esav Be'etzah. He owns Tammuz and Av. Yaakov stole back Chodesh Elul. We're not going to get into that. It's another shiur. This month belongs to Esav. This month is Midas Adin. Es Chet Maraglim, Shlach, Chodesh Tammuz is when they began their journey. These parshios, it's all subtly alluded to in V'chol zeh einenu shavali. What's the Yesod? Yesod, we know the Balei Musar cited by Mayana Shatori, Torah Torah. What was the evil of Haman? What was the trigger to his ensuing demise, to his utter downfall? You can have all the covet in the world, you can have everything. There's one Yid, Rashi cites the matter, there's one Yid Mordechai who's now bowing down to you, and that's it. And that exasperates you, ad kadei kach, you start the gezerus, and that ultimately is what engenders your ensuing demise, all because one single person doesn't give you the covet. Zok the Bali Musar, that's an echo of what? Adam and Chava, they're planted in the Garden of Paradise in Gan Eden, and they have every single culinary delight imaginable to mankind. They have all the best of the Gashmi. You got everything, and you were even given it Sivui. And Bereshis base Pasuk Tasayin Mikolei Tzagantochel, enjoy the mangoes and the coconuts. You got everything you want, but what? There's one tree off limits. And that was the beginning of their downfall. I want everything. I don't want anything off limits. I want to have access to anything and everything. A gaiva, a kina, a taiva. Motzi and a sa'odam and olam, and a taka was motzi, odam arisham and olam. Because one tree is off limits, I can't take it. Haman, mina taira minayin chulun kaflamet tesam and beis. Hamina eitz. That was Haman. One tree that you don't have access to. One human being that you can't control, and that drives him insane and serves as the beginning of his downfall. Come the summer months, and we're always tested, Rabbi say. People say, let's go here, let's go there. Shmiras Einayim, you can listen to every Vayamayim and watch every Vayamayim video. The biggest nisyonas come Chodesh Tammuz, the month of July. Not only here on Central Avenue, but in the mountains, all over the place. You can't escape it. Ruvain writes the Bnei Yissaschar is the shevet that corresponds to this month. Ruvain, Lashon Re'iyah, it's a time to focus and work on our Shmiras Einayim, Riyas Einayim, and we have to this month more than ever. But why do we need to look? If it's something I need, the Eibishter will provide it. If it's something that I need to look at, the Eibishter will ensure that I look at it. Why do I need to look for something that's not mine, that doesn't belong to me? Why do I have to look around at other people's wives, at other people's cars, other people's summer vacations? Machpat lecha, asali kotsarki, writes the Mabit. I have every single thing that I need to be that emes ben Ali. If I don't have it, then I don't need it. And if I need it to be that emes Evan Hashem, then the Eibishter will provide it. I don't have to look around. Sakra Nutrvolba writes, I'm curious. What do you have to be curious for? If I need it, the Eibishter will let me see it. Then he'll give it to me. Ben Aliyah says, I don't need to look around. I have every single thing I need, and I got a steig. Famous Ibn Ezra lo sachmod, how can the Eibishter tell me I have to control my emotions? How do I control my emotions? So the Ibn Ezra, you have to view it as an olam shenachot. It's no shaykhs to you. A ben kfar, someone who grows up as a pashut individual in a village, he doesn't envy at all the bas melech. He knows the princess, the queen, is out of his orbit. Bechlal. It's not bechlal in the same olam. He's olam achar legamri. Rabbi says, Zok the Beis HaLevi. I don't need to come on to the Ibn Ezra. Beis Halevi, Parshas Yisro, by Lo Sachmad. He says, you know what the source of all the reasons we can't combat the Yetzer Hara? Because we don't work enough on a Yiras Shamayim. You can have a Yid who says, I'm going to be Mamali the Taiva, I'm going to get in my car, I'm going to go to this place, I'm going to go to this vacation spot, I'm going to go to this beach, I'm going to go do this and this Aveira, I'm going to go look at such and such. And the person has an unquenchable and insatiable appetite for Hazai Aveira. And he says, Lamoshel, let's say the person is crossing a frozen river. And all of a sudden there are cracks in the river, but he's going to be Mamali a Geshmak Taiva. And all of a sudden the cracks are coming and there are holes in the river. And he starts to panic and an overwhelming Pachad, Eman, Yira seizes him. He doesn't think about the Taiva anymore. He thinks about saving his life. I bet 5 minutes ago he had the single greatest Taiva he's ever had in his life. But when you're overtaken by a Yira, by a Pachad, it's Masalik, taken from Yad. It instantly erases and eradicates all the Taivas. Zok the Beis Halevi, if we were saturated with Yiras Shamayim, that's the easiest way to overcome every Yetzer Hara. Hey, Mr. You know what? Avshi, I want to look over there. I want to go to that place. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I really want to, but I can't. Azah Yiras Hachet, Azah Yira Eman Pachad, that has to overcome us, has to control us. The animals and the teva didn't stop Zok the Meir Shapiro to eat one another. The lion is there with the wolf and the sheep and the lion and the gazelle and the deer. No one's eating anyone. You're in a tzara. In a sakana, you're thinking about saving your life and not thinking about anything else. If we constantly work on Yiras Shamayim and grow in our Yiras Shamayim, that's the number one ticket to overcoming not only Shmiras Hanayim, but all the taivas and all the Yetzer Hara Zok the Beis Halevi. There's a Yid in this community who told me, he's now in his 80s, he told me when he was a teenager, he was a chain smoker. Smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. He says to me, Rabbi Feiner, I can't tell you what pshat is. I couldn't mamish go a half hour without a cigarette, but all of a sudden it came Shabbos, came Yontif, believe it or not, even a 2-day Yontif, and yes, even a 3-day Yontif. I didn't bechlal have the slightest taiva to smoke a cigarette, but yet every weekday I was a chain smoker. How did I do it? Because right now it's Shabbos, and Shabbos I'm all a yira. For Shabbos, kind of not shy to take out a pack of cigarettes. The second I made Avodah, I went right for the cigarette. You can love chocolate. So let's say, assuming everyone here, of course, keeps Chalav Yisrael, so no one, you don't remember Hershey's anymore. I remember soon after I got married, I told my wife, you have to go after the minhagim of your husband. I keep Chalav Yisrael. She says, really, but I love Hershey's chocolate bar. I said, okay, you give it up. No, Mesiras Nefesh. About a month later, we had a Bein Hazmanim. I said, hey, how about we go to Hershey Park? She says, great, we go to Hershey Park, and we go on the ride where they show you how they make all those Hershey Geschmacka. She says, can we start the minhag after this visit? You can have the biggest taiva for your favorite chocolate bar in the world. But if you came to an Ohel Kumsitz tonight or Baisai, and you had some cholent, some fleishiks, and you come home and your favorite chocolate bar in the world is facing you, you can have the biggest taiva in the world for it. What do you mean? But I just ate meat. Whether you wait 3 hours or 6 hours into the 6, the majority of it's not shaykh. Because your Yiras Shamayim governs that taiva for the chocolate. If we're consistently working on the Yiras Shamayim, Zok the Beis Halevi, that's the best way to overcome a taiva. Some people work on it to the extent that Chaim Brisker said about his number one Talmud, Baruch Ber, says when he gets at Shemayim, he's not going to get any schar for doing Averis. He says, my Talmud worked on his Yiras Shamayim to the degree he doesn't have any taiva anymore, because even if he had a taiva, he has Azai Yiras Hachet that's not shaykh to do. He's not going to get schar for overcoming the Yetzer Hara. He already was Masalik. Oh, but the schar that he's going to get for getting to that madrega is unbelievable. That's the way to overcome the Yetzer Haras of the summertime. That means what? So we might not be learning. We might not even have a regular Kinni Masechta, Daf Yomi Zom and Yomi Salvai. We do. And we keep that Kvias. That's integral. But Ibn Aliyah says, I'm always working in my Yiras Shamayim. I always take a sefer on vacation. I always take something with me. A Mishnayos, a Gemara, a sefer. Dodolowski had a Talmud years ago. He wanted him to stay in Eretz Yisrael. And the Talmud says, Rabbi, I did my year. I got to go back to the States. I got to get on with my life. Says, but how are you going to face all the Yitzharas? He says, don't worry, Rabbi. So Rabbi Olovsky came months later. He came to visit his Talmud, David. He says, David, how you doing? He says, Rabbi, yeah, I got back. I go to the clubs. I go to the discos. It's terrible. I can't get rid of these Yitzharas. He says, but I want you to know, Rabbi, you told me about those little pocket kahati mishnayos. He says, I take those pocket kahati mishnayos. I put it in my jacket. I take it with me wherever I go. He says, really? Even into the clubs and the discos? He says, yeah. I take it. He says, I don't open it up there, but I take it with me. At least I have a shmirah that I know it's there. He says, very nice, you know it's there, but you got to open it up. Boy, so we're never on vacation from Yerushalayim. How are you going to do the Yitzharas? Because we overcome it and overwhelm it. Hey, Mr. We're not going to deny we have a taiva. But I'm in love with the Ribbon Shalom. And I'm seized by Yerusa Raimamas and Avodah Yerusa Onish from the Ribbon Shalom. So I might want to look, I can't. I might want to go, I can't. Oh, but my friends are going, how can I do that? I don't think he's sitting in the room tonight, but there's a yid in this community. Came to speak to me years ago. A regular Gishmak Balabos. And he told me he was invited to a certain party in Manhattan. He says, I know, Rabbi Feiner, I shouldn't have gone, but I went. Peer pressure, I went to this party in Manhattan. And I saw that the party wasn't for me. He says, 100 guys there. Nobody walked out. And I had it in me to walk out. And I walked out and I said, I'm never going to a party like that for the rest of my life. And here he is in my office, in jeans, a t-shirt, a baseball cap, and sneakers. And I said to him, well, just call him Joe. I said, Joe, how'd you do it? He says, you know how I did it? Because I have a Seder in Gemara. And I learn a few times a week with the Chavrusa. He says, and that's the source of my Yerushalayim. He says, I can't even tell you what Gemara I learned, to what daf I'm holding on. I can't even tell you what the last Gemara I learned said. But I'm someone who learns Gemara. I'm someone who sits several times a week in the basement. I can't be at such a party. If I want to be at a party, I can't go. Because God, Yiddishkeit matters much more. I want to look there. Let's be honest. I want to look there. I want to see that. I want to go there. I want to dress like this. I want to go with people like that, vacation months. You might want to. But a Ben Aliyah doesn't do it. Because a Ben Aliyah is in love with the Ribbon Shalom. A Ben Aliyah is seized with awe, the Ribbon Shalom. And a Ben Aliyah is connected to Torah. Avas Torah v'Yerushalayim. That's how you get the Yerushalayim. By side, there's no Bein Hazmanim. It's a Zman to chill. It's a Zman to relax. It's a Zman to take it a little bit easy. But we never, ever stop growing. And we never stop steiging. And we never stop working on Yerushalayim. He wrote on Eibush should give each and every one of us koichas atzumas for shmiras hanayim, shmiras hakoichas, to continue to steig as beautiful, glorious Ovdei Hashem Yisbarach la'ela u'la'e.
The Gaon has a sefer, Evan
Shleimer. He didn't write it. Tell him to put it together from his
And in there he says, one of the things says, Im ein atom shtadel alot tamid ma'ala ma'ala al kocha yered mata.
Mata. And that's taken from his Bir Mishlei Tesvav Chavdam.
Everybody together. To do a ne'ilah on Rabbi Feiner's words, locking it into our hearts, and to prepare ourselves also for Rabbi Neuburger Shlita's words. Let's sing the following thing together. Everybody together. V'taher libeinu le'avdecha b'yemes. V'taher libeinu Let's go! Hey, the time. As loud as you can, together, together. Let's hear you, just you. Hi, baby.
First off, a big Yasher Koch. Thank you so much, Rabbi, for those unbelievable words of chizuk. I would like to welcome Yisrael Wasser here, who is the village trustee of Cedarhurst. Thank you for being here. It is one of the biggest brachos. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, Aseh lecha Rav. It is one of the biggest brachos when you're able to find a Rav that you respect, that you trust, that you know you can count on, that you know will always be there for you, that you know is holding in everything there is to be holding on. And it's an even bigger bracha, double the bracha, when you're able to find two such Rabbeim to have in your lives. And it's amazing that two Rabbeim like this can exist in one shul and in one community. Rabbi Neuburger has and is such a bracha in my life and my family's life, and obviously everyone here in the community knows how big of a bracha it is to have Rabbi Neuburger with us and amongst us. He's a Talmid Chacham, and he is someone who will stop at nothing to be there for every single individual in Klal Yisrael. It is a tremendous chus and honor to have Rabbi Neuburger share some words in Chizuk and Torah with us.
It's a chus to be here. I thank Eli for organizing and for inviting me to participate. And I thank all of those at Ohel for all of that they do, for our community and beyond. Be'ezus Hashem, you should continue to be matzliach in your Avodah HaKodesh to help the Rebbeinu Shalom's children come closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom, b'menuchas hanefesh v'yishuv hadas. Although, Eli, I think that the next Leil Shishi, maybe if we advertise Rabbi Feiner's playing pool against Ari, I think that will be a sellout crowd. Just an idea. I don't know. I'm not a... I like the idea, right? Okay. Yeah. My only shaila is Ari the guy after the game? He came over and he said, in yeshiva, I'm a big masmid. So when Eli first asked me to debate Rabbi Feiner, he said Rabbi Feiner is going to be advancing the position not to take a break from Yiddishkeit, and you'll have to defend the other perspective. So obviously, to echo the words that we heard from Rabbi Feiner Shlita, when it comes to the Avodah of the summer months, the fact that we're here discussing this is already a tremendous victory. The Torah tells us in this week's Parsha that Moshe Rabbeinu was told to make chatzotzres. And it's interesting, if you look at the job of the chatzotzres, the role that the chatzotzres played, so it had many different functions. There was a function that the chatzotzres played to gather the kol together, to gather the nesiim. The chatzotzres was called together le'es tzara, Klal Yisrael, when they had to come together to daven be'es milchama. And the chatzotzres were there b'yoyim simchaschem u'b'yoyim ayadeichem. And it's a very interesting thing, because I think we would normally view that as something somewhat counterintuitive. That the very same way I celebrate the heights, the joys of Klal Yisrael's greatest days of B'yoyim Simchaschem, those very kelim, those very chatzotzres are used to call Klal Yisrael together be'es tzara, b'shas milchama. Wouldn't we think it would be more intuitive, perhaps, if there was a certain way to highlight our celebration? to highlight the ecstasy of Yom Simchaschem. And then there is an entirely different perspective, entirely different avodah, b'shas milchama be'ez tzara. But the Torah is telling us, yes, these are different avodas, but they all have to be channeled towards one common goal. It's the same chatzotzos, it's the same vision, it's the same purpose. Our entire goal in life is to get closer to the Rabbi Shalom. Sometimes it takes the form of Yom Simchaschem. We do so in joy and ecstasy. And sometimes it takes the form in Eis Tzara. We come together to cry. But it's the same Chatzotzros. It's the same vision. It's the same goal. It's the same purpose. Different avodas for different times, bringing us to the same goal, the same destination, the same vision. And that's really the question of tonight. The very first step in understanding the summer months from a perspective of a Ben Torah is to understand that there is an Avodah. The Avodah may be different, but it's the same Chatzotzos. It's the same goal, the same purpose, the same vision. Sometimes the Chatzotzros demand something, and other times the Chatzotzros demand a different avodah. But the Chatzotzros blow in July and August the same way they do in the middle of the winter. So what is the avodah of these months of Tammuz, of what are the Chatzotzros that are blowing now for Klal Yisrael? What are they asking of us? So I think it's really the message of the parsha. This parsha, as we all know, is divided up into 3 sections. Before Vayehi ben Soya Orain, after Vayehi ben Soya Orain, and Vayehi ben Soya Orain. Ad Kidei Kach, the Chazal tell us, we all know, that Vayehi ben Soya Orain is a parsha bifnei atzma. It's a chumash bifnei atzma. That means that we have, rather than chamisha chumshei Torah, we have 7 books of the Torah, and Vayehi ben Soya Orain is deemed worthy of being its own sefer bifnei atzma. Of all the psukim in the Torah, to choose 2 psukim that would be a parsha bifnei atzma, a sefer bifnei atzma, we would choose Shema Yisrael perhaps. We could think of many psukim at the center of our belief system. What is it about Vayehi ben Soya Ora and Vayomer Moshe that becomes a sefer bifnei atzma? And the lesson is so profound if we take the time to be inspired by it. What Chazal are telling us that Vayehi ben Soya Orin is a sefer bifnei atzma is that when we're reading these words, we have to understand there was a major shift that took place in the destiny of Klal Yisrael, and therefore in the entirety of the Torah and in the entirety of the world during these psukim. When the Torah gives us these nuns, they should be like flashing red lights to us saying that everything is changing right now. The world is not the way it was before. Everything just changed, and it might seem to you like a subtlety. It might seem to you like a nuance in the history of Klal Yisrael, but what the Torah is telling us is that no, everything was just transformed. The world changed and Klal Yisrael's destiny changed, and it will never be the same. There's before Vayehi ben Soya Orain, and there's after Vayehi ben Soya Orain. Because Rabbi say, before Vayehi ben Soya Orain, The plan was another few days, directly into Eretz Yisrael, build a Beis HaMikdash that would last la'olam voed. And you could forget about the last thousands of years of Jewish suffering. Before Vayehi ben Sayah, there's no Churban Bayis Rishon. There's no Haman Harasha, there's no Churban Bayis Sheni. Before Vayehi ben Sayah, the Churbanos that existed during the times of the Rishonim, the Crusades, Tach V'Tat, Spanish Inquisition, Holocaust, it didn't exist. It wasn't a part of the plan. That all changed. After Vayehi ben Sayah, and it's all downhill. Nisoyinim, Hisavu Tava, Safsuf, Miraglim, Moshe Rabbeinu is not allowed into Eretz Yisrael, and the rest is history. But what changed? How did that happen? What was that point of no return that impacted Jewish history forever, that Klal Yisrael started this downward spiral, never to recover from? A downward spiral that has left its imprint ad hayoim hazeh. What was the nikuda before Vayehi ben Sayah that the Rabbi Shalom says, everything has to be different. This is not going to work the way that I envisioned. Chazal tell us a tiny, slight mistake we could have overlooked, never even noticed. Vayisu mehar Hashem ketina kabereach mi beis hasefer. Chazal tell us, you want to know how it's possible for a Dor Deya who became Ponim El Ponim with the Rabbeinu Shloim, who witnessed Kriyas Yamsuf, who saw the Makkos. You want to know how it's possible for such a people to turn into Misoinanim, to turn into Miraglim? How is that even feasible that you have people in the Beis Medrash of the Rabbeinu Shloim, Kofalem, Harke, Gigis? How is it possible that people raw Mashalei Ra Cheskel Ben Buzi, and we see that they turn into Miraglim? Where does that come from? Says Rabbeinu Shalom, say Chazal, Kitina Kabereach Mi Beis HaSefer. They left Har Sinai too early. Now, what does this mean? They left Har Sinai too early. There were more mitzvahs to be given. There's more than Taryag. Class wasn't dismissed yet. The Rebbeinu Shem was in the middle of his statement. Do we have any indication that they weren't given the sign of the anonim to go? What does it mean? Kitina kabereach mi beis hasefer. It was over. It was finished. Har Sinai was finished. Let's move on. Let's get into Eretz Yisrael. Boisai. Cook would often say, Avodah Hashem has different types of zmanim. There's a zman of planting, of harvesting, of digging, of sweating. Then there's a zman to allow what you planted to flourish, to grow. There's a zman of limud, Torah, beharvanya, with hard work, sweat, breaking your head in a tosfos. Then there's a zman for chazara, benachas, to allow it to sink in, to allow it to become part of who you are, to allow it to become embedded in your bones, Avodas Hashem always has this cycle. Extreme growth, and then a pause to allow the growth to express itself and to be tzomeach in his words. The shir was over at Har Sinai. The Rabbi Shalom had stopped talking. Taryag mitzvahs had been given over. But this man was this man to stop moving, to bask in what they had just experienced, to allow it to become a part of who they are, to define who they are, to infiltrate the deepest recesses of their neshama. But they, for the greatest intentions, were ready. Vayisu me'ar Hashem. We have to get back to Eretz Yisrael. We have to go in. We have to build. We have to continue to move and grow, and it has to be active. And the Rebbeinu Shalom says, "No, stay. Let it sink in. Bask in the glory of Har Sinai just for a little bit passively. Allow yourselves to absorb everything that there is to absorb from Har Sinai." And it was that mistake that changed Jewish history forever. Because if we would have absorbed it on a deeper level, there would be no misoinim. There would be no asafsuf. There'd be no miraglim. A few days later, we would have entered Eretz Yisrael with Moshe Rabbeinu leading us. There's an avodah to plant, and there's an avodah to let grow. If you plant, but don't let it grow, don't let it flourish, your planting will be for naught. The summer months, Rabbi said, to my mind, is those months where we let what we planted flourish. That doesn't make them less important, doesn't make them less vital. On the contrary. These months, we look back all the way to last El. All the work that we put in, and the Kabbalahs, and the Rosh Hashanah, the Yom Kippur, the Sukkot. And we had a Chanukah, we had a Tu B'Shvat, we had a Purim, a Pesach. We did a lot of work this year. All of that Avodah. But in the summer, we have to let ourselves absorb it. And that's an avodah in itself. It's passive. It's in our mind. It involves thought. It involves menuchas hanefesh. But it's not chalila taking a break. There's so much to accomplish in the summer. They can't be accomplished the rest of the year when we're digging and planting and harvesting. In the summer, we take a step back and we ask ourselves, who am I? Who have I become? Sometimes it's easier to be able to see that when things are more relaxed, when there's less structure. What do I do on vacation? What do I do when I have more time? The children are off from school. What does my life look like when I don't have all these obligations? Because that's really who you are. What grows during the summer defines what has become part and parcel of our being, versus us just getting caught up in the busyness of our calendar, going through the motions, Rahman al-Itzlan, without absorbing the Kedusha of what a Yiddish calendar has to offer. So our summers have to be summers where we avoid the most fatal mistake Klal Yisrael ever made. Vayisu me'ar Hashem. Shir is over. B'nai Shalom, stop talking. Let's go. We're done. Let's take the summer and allow ourselves to look back on the experience of Tafshin Pei Vav, who we've become, how we have grown, how we've developed as Bachrim, as fathers, as spouses, as Oivdei Hashem. What has become part of us? And what part of our life is just by rote? The summer is, to a certain degree, what defines our being who we are. Let us take this time to be relaxed. Menuchas hanefesh. Yishuv hadas. Enjoy the less structure in our lives. Enjoy more time, perhaps. Enjoy a calmer being. But look at yourselves in the mirrors and see what grows. Stop planting and see the beautiful peiros, the beautiful flowers. Allow them to grow, and Be'ezus Hashem, that will prepare us for another season of harvesting and planting and working, coming up with an El and a Yomim Narom ahead. A good Shabbos.
Hilulei Saidavas Shashu As Avadeti Be'oni Lulei Saidavas Aisha Hashu Hai Azavadeti Maybe on Hai Lulei Zaidas Azavadeti Avashleinu matoiv chelkeinu Banayim goyraleinu Ay ay Avashleinu matoiv chelkeinu Banayim goyraleinu Ay ay nidalay ay nidalay ay nidalay Halaladai dai 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 Halaladai dai dai Halaladai dai dai Shoymre Shabbos Mekoide Yoine Kordeo Yismechu Be'malchuso Yismechu Be'malchuso Shoymre Shabbos Mekoide Yoine Kane Yoine Together Yididai Dai Shah Shabbos, Shabbos, Kodesh, Yididai, Shabbos, Kodesh, Shabbos, Kodesh, Ay, Shabbos, Kodesh. Yismechu be'malchuso, Yismechu be'malchuso. Shabbos, Kodesh. Last time, Kevin, let's go! 1, 2, 3! Shabbos, Shabbos, Kodesh, Oy, Yididai, Shabbos, Kodesh, Shabbos, Kodesh, Ay, 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 Shabbos, Kodesh, Shabbos, Shabbos, Kodesh. Shkoyach, everybody, shkoyach.